Hello and welcome all to today's Ask Me Anything session. Very exciting session as we have one of our past graduates joining us, who I'll be introducing in just a second. Before we get into that, I'd like to just give some house rules. So, as you know, we have a comment section, and this is going to be used for resources, so booking links, brochures, anything I'll be speaking of. We'll post it up there, and also feel free to use this comment section for any questions or any comments that you have. Then we have a separate Q&A function, which is going to be specific questions that you have that you would like to ask our guest today, Polly, who we'll be introducing in a second, and we'll be having our Q&A session towards the end. So I would like to first start off by giving a brief introduction to the program, and then afterwards we'll get into the Q&A with Polly. So the King's Product Management Career Accelerator, as the name suggests, is a very intensive program over 6 months that is for anyone considering sharpening their skills within the product space, or if you're a career changer, then this is a chance for you to get certified and get good training on how you can manage products across the entire life cycle, from start all the way to looking after products in the market. So please do use the comments as well to let me know if you are a career changer, perhaps what industry you're coming from, what is your job title, or if you're a product manager, what is it that you do hope to achieve from this course. So over our 6 months, we have three segments, which is three 4 6-week segments. We have three courses, which will each have a very comprehensive project that you'll be completing, that you'll be putting into a portfolio. And then we have a 6-week live business project. And this live business project gives you the chance to tie in everything you've learned over the three courses, which again is from inception of new products, design and development, and launching to market. We will set you up with one of our partner organizations who will be designing a project brief for you. And this project brief is going to be a high level project that our students will get to work on over a 6-week period. It is a group project, so um, don't feel that it's going to be quite overwhelming, but you will have the support of those that you're studying with to then complete this final presentation. So over the 6 months, you're building out a very comprehensive portfolio, which is what you'll either use to demonstrate to your existing organizations, if you are, looking to have an internal promotion or gain a internal job within your current company working with the products, or if you're looking for external opportunities outside your existing organization. This portfolio serves as the evidence that you've gone through a very rigorous program, and you'll be able to showcase your thought process behind each of those life cycle stages, including the benefit of walking away with working experience, which is what a lot of our students will do. They'll add in that exciting 6 weeks of that project onto their CVs, their LinkedIn profiles, and it gives you a good place to start in those hiring interviews, to start talking about some real world application that you have done. So we want you to feel as if you are a product manager at the end of this program. Not only you'll have a certificate, but you'll get that work experience, which really gives you that confidence to say, I can, and I will have to find the next career and the next organization that I'll be working with. Now, we don't stop just there. Of course, as a career accelerator, we want to ensure that you are not only learning new skills, but you're able to apply that in the working world, in the industries that you are looking into. And this in itself is a skill. And knowing how to, apply for roles, how does your CV need to be set up? How do you bypass the AI engines that are going to be processing your CVs when you apply? How do you get through those, interview processes, and how do you manage each of the stages? And also, most simply, how do you begin networking? So these are some of the big questions that you will have coming in. And of course, we will provide very comprehensive support around that. Now, we have a team of career coaches, and this is one of the major benefits of the King's Career Accelerator, is that you get to work with an executive coach. You are assigned your own coach. So this is who you'll be working with on the 6 months and beyond. And these sessions are driven by where you are currently at in your career and what you are hoping to achieve after this program. So these two questions will form the foundation of your journey with the career coaching. Let's say you're a career changer, which I've seen, some have mentioned in the comments. Then you will have to work with the career coaches to identify how do we rebrand your CV to ensure that we take out the relevant skills to be a product manager, and then we also combine that with what we teach on the program. They will help you rethink your online presence. So, if recruiters were to find your profile on LinkedIn, is it set up correctly? Does it show them that this might be the best candidate for the role? And if not, how can we improve that? And then they'll also look at how to network, where to start looking for roles. There are so many job boards out there, but depending on the type of goals you have and the industry and the companies you'd like to work with, not every job board is going to provide the perfect opportunities. And then lastly, when you've done however much applications, then you'll start getting interviews back. And this is when you might want to work with your coaches on preparing for those interviews. You might get assessments, you might have first round, second round, and third round interviews, and knowing how to prepare for each of them is key. So this is the journey of the career coaching. While you're learning, building your skill sets, you also have a dedicated career coach working with you in the background to make sure that there is a high possibility of you achieving a career outcome after this program. And to top it all off, we also have an AI learning track, which is an enhancement to our program. And the AI learning track is really to ensure that you get access to some of the top AI experts around the world that will be specific to product management. And it's not a general AI class offered across all our programs, but this focuses on how can a product manager use AI to their advantage? What are the tools? Um, do you need to include AI? So these are some of important questions that we cover. And by the time you walk away from the program, you now have some AI skills to add onto your CV as well. So we want to future proof. And that's a big part of what we're doing here at King's as well. Now, I'll be talking about the logistics after at the end of the call, applications. Please note before we talk to Polly that we'll be having a very exciting info session on Friday. And this info session is going to be with one of our coaches. It's going to be with a learner and one of our course facilitators who supports you on the program. And our course facilitators are from industry. So this info session is going to dive deep into all aspects of the program, career coaching from the course facilitator perspective and from the student perspective. So without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce Polly. Welcome, Polly. Please give the audience a little bit of background into who you are, and we'll take it from there.
Thanks, Jamie, and hi to everyone virtually. I'm Polly, so I'm a recent graduate of the product career course. And I suppose my approach to the course was maybe slightly different to a few people or a majority of the group that I was in and the cohort I was a part of, and probably very similar to individuals who are looking for a big career change, looking to excel their product skills, looking to get on the job ladder in a particular kind of organization. I think I kind of did things a bit backwards. I got the experience first, and then I thought I need to kind of look for a product course as well. But we'll go into more detail about that. But I work for an organization called Enterprise Nation. My role is I'm COO here, and I was COO prior to joining this course. Before that, I was head of product. I joined when we were a team of 4, and we're now at a team of 50. So we've scaled in the last few years. With that is obviously we had to rapidly shift from a in-person event organization to an organization that is very much online and platform driven. just in terms of size and scale of our community and the product that we were building. Enterprise Nation delivers business support to entrepreneurs and small businesses who want to start, grow, and scale their company. When I first started, we used to get about 7 people sign up a week, and it used to be very exciting, and we used to be able to track their journey. It was very personal. And fast forward to today, we tend to get about 1,000 small businesses signing up a week. So that took a lot of time. That took a lot of product development, and product was not my remit. But I kind of molded a role for myself as a head of product within this sort of startup space. And I then progressed into COO role. And then I found I actually really like the product side of it. Just for you guys who want to know more about a COO role, it's very common for head of product managers to aspire to go into a COO role, because a product role is very much knowing about different parts of the business and how they all connect together. And hopefully you've got a product right in the center of it that brings all these teams together. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Apart from work, I run a not-for-profit, which is all around giving young girls access to education through digital tools and technology. So I have to think about the product a lot there. It's just me who works on it. I sit on boards and work with small startups to help them scale their own product and communities as well. I do lots of talks with organizations like Google, MasterCard around AI and the importance of AI for everyone, and accessibility to that, and also around operations, hiring the right talent and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I've got a broad range of skills, which hopefully puts me in the right position as a COO. But I know we're focusing purely on product today.
No, thank you so much, Polly. This is great because we do have a lot of career advances on our program, and I would think it's fantastic for our career changes here today and those that might be watching in future to hear from someone that's been head of product. I think a lot of career changes would first say, I'll start off as a product manager, maybe product owner, and then I'll get more senior and move into those roles. So I'm glad you'll provide some insights today into that. Now, Polly, we spoke, about close to 2 years ago in October 2023 when you were first considering, joining us, and we spoke extensively. And I've had a look at one of the notes I've left, and you mentioned to me at the time that you were really busy, and as COO, I completely understood at the time, but as someone with your experience, why was it important for you to make that decision to actually do this, even though you had constraints with time?
Good question. I suppose I'm an individual that I think I'll always be busy, and that's not to sound big-headed or anything. I just always like to fill my time with stuff that I enjoy doing. I think lots of people are like that. So I shifted a couple of months. Me and Jamie were talking back and forth. I was looking at other organizations like Product School, other universities, but the fit wasn't quite there compared to, say, King's. But for me, the kind of intensity of the program was not something that I was expecting. You mentioned as you started this call, Jamie, it's an intensive course. And I would just say to everyone on this call, it's intensive but incredibly rewarding. But when someone says it's intensive, I was like, oh, that 20 hours a week is for those who read quite slow. And I was like, I'll be able to do that in 10 hours, but it really is 20 hours a week. So I had to shift my mindset for a long period of January. So literally, I'd started the course in my mind from Jan, and I changed my whole work day to accommodate for this course, to make sure I was doing 2 hours of learning every day. And my main goal of the course was that I wanted a first. I'm incredibly ambitious. So I was like, I want full marks. My career coach was like, okay, Polly, calm down. But I was like, for me to truly achieve those grades that I want in this course, to get the most out of it, I have to really break up my time. But yeah, it is intensive, I have to say, but highly rewarding.
No, that's great to hear, Polly. And I always stress this whenever I'm speaking to a potential candidate, that it's important to consider the time considerations and especially how you balance it. Would you say that it took you a while to adjust to the program, or did you have the support right away, or was it just that you are really disciplined and it was natural for you to, follow that 20 hours a week?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a bit of time. So the way I broke it up, and again, a COO role is very time intensive. But like anything that anyone on this call does, whatever you do, your 9 till 5, even if you're, watching your family, or, you have young kids. There were people in my team, my cohort, who had that is still time taken away from learning every single day. So yeah, the way I did it was I would get into the office. I'm really lucky that I have an office space. 7 till 8, I would get into the office for 7 till 8, I would do an hour. Then I would work on other things, and then 6 till 7 in the evening, I would then do this as well. Of course, there are days that you miss, but I would always find that the Thursday slot, where we'd all come together as a group, was okay. How much am I behind from my week of learning versus am I on track for that week? Um, get your tools in order. So I use Trello. Lots of people use Notion. I would strongly suggest, before you sort of sign up for the course, if you have signed up, get your day scheduled in a way where this is embedded into your day, because this is a long course. It feels short compared to university, of course, but it's intensive for those sort of 8 months that you're doing it. So yeah, my way is an hour at either side of my day. And then obviously the Thursday session, I always made sure I was present. That's one thing I would highly recommend. Lots of people tend to be quiet on those calls. Make sure you're present, cross off all notifications. And I have to say, it used to be the highlight of my week. My company didn't pay for this, and they offered, but I said no, because this is for myself. And truly, the more you put in, because you are investing in yourself, the reward you feel after is incredible. And I used to hear people talk about, oh, I'm doing a PhD, or I'm going back to university. It used to be a bit like, cool story, but now I really empathize with those who are doing it alongside a career, because hats off to anyone, A, who is investing in their future, B, trying to change their career. It's really hard to do that, but it's so rewarding once you feel that, wow, I've done a massive tick of investing in my career, graduating, and now I've got the sort of next step.
No, I mean that's really inspirational, and I think it gives those good insights and realistic insights. I think when we're not studying, and it's easy for us to say, yes, I'm going to do this for 6 months, in that moment, but it's important to also come in with the sense of discipline, as you're saying, Polly. It's important to know that investing in yourself is a massive step. And then on top of that, you're also, as you're saying, changing careers. You maybe have family responsibilities and a full-time role as well. So very important is speak with your enrollment advisors. If it's not myself, I have two amazing colleagues that will also be able to sit down with our course calendars. And especially if you're traveling, Pauline, I'm not sure if you've taken any study breaks during the program, but we do have learners that say, I need a week holiday, or 2 weeks I'll be visiting family. And this is important for us to know, to be able to support you around. We try and be as flexible as possible, but at the same time, you do need a real outcome. That's why you're investing in this program, and that's why we've made it quite intense. Now, probably a big part of what we speak about is the program being very practical. Now, you've held a position, a senior position within product already, so you had the practical experience. But how practical was our curriculum for you?
Yeah, good question again. I feel at the start, the first sort of, and I forget how they would phrase it, whether it's modules, I think it was modules. The first sort of module was very written, and I was okay with that, because for me, I had had the hands-on experience with being a head of product and really learning from scratch during COVID. Me and my founder read up a lot about how to build a marketplace, how Airbnb built what they built, and we read books, traded books, and that was my learning, and then applying it to the actual product. So I feel very lucky that I was in that position to kind of test and fail quite quickly on my own. The bit and the reason why I came on the course was because I didn't go to university to study product. I've never done a course. And I was like, surely I'm missing frameworks, theory, stuff that big corporates do, and bigger products and platforms do that I don't know about. So that was my one reason why I kind of went on this course. And for me, when I looked at the practical side, what I really looked forward to was the practical task at the end, which is doing it with a big corporate company. And we work with Sky. And we were presenting to Sky. We worked in a real intense group, in the sense of we would meet I was really lucky. My group was super organized. We would meet 3 times a week, and I think it was over a 6 week period where we were working towards presenting to Sky some really cool, exciting ideas. And we were talking to their product team as well. And that's exposure that I've never had before in a real time setting. And a lot of that was about how to present to big corporates. And thankfully I do that every day, so that wasn't the bit that I was like, oh, okay, that's going to make me nervous or whatever. But I know members of my team were a bit like, never presented to a big corporate or a product manager or a product lead. So I let them lean into that. And for me, it was more around, what are the questions, what are the how do they build their product teams, who would be on the call and stuff like that. So that bit of the practical I really enjoyed. I also really enjoyed the breakout. So a lot of in my role is just me working with a CEO. So my kind of role as a COO and head of product before was solving problems. And you have to get comfortable with solving problems and failing. And that's the true success of a product person. I truly believe they are very public about their failures. They're very public about how long it took them to get to the tipping point or the hockey stick curve, all these things that startups say. And for me, the practical side of doing the breakout rooms every single week was really good. It would only be 20 minutes of the weekly session. So Jed, our kind of course facilitator, would do a session around, let's say, a particular SWOT analysis framework, and then you would take it and he would say, okay, here's a made up situation. How would you as a quick product team group be brought together, put different scenarios in this SWOT framework? And that for me was really good, because it felt like for a long time, I've just been solving problems solo, and that's okay, but it's nice to get like a group environment as well. Yeah.
No, that I'm sure our audience will appreciate that context here. Very sorry, thanks for that explanation. So it seems like the employer project really tied everything together. You worked with one of our amazing partners, Sky. I'm sure that was really exciting. And as you said, the group that you were put in actually helped you. And as I said earlier, when learners think of this employer project and doing it alone, it can seem a bit daunting. But just as Polly said, we will place you in a group with other learners, and at this point of the program, I'm sure if learners are here, they're serious, they've made it through most of the program. So it's just about crossing that finish line from there. Now, another big part of the program, Polly, is the career coaching. And I'm interested to hear from your perspective as a career advancer, what the journey with the coaches was like, and what was your main focus working with them?
Yeah, I mean, before I jump into that, sorry, I always like to answer the question. Employer project, just FYI, I think Jessica's asked this question. Um, I had someone from Pakistan, Turkey. I'm based in London. Our time zones were all different, but we figured it out and we had a really good rhythm. We would record every session and then anyone else can catch up. We had a shared space and we'd each be assigned tasks to go away. It was just that run up in the week to presenting that we would all come together and step through our presentation. So we were all super prepared. So yeah, the first time ever, I was worried about remote working and people on different time zones, but I was really happy with, we were just really organized. That's all I would say is, if someone's not leading in the group, you lead as the individual and you'll be more comfortable with like getting everyone on the same time zone. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to answer that question. Career coaching was probably the highlight of me doing this course. I think I'm going to actually continue got my last session with Emma, who is incredible. I've got her next week. And it was interesting just seeing the conversations I had with her from February through to next week, the change in my own career. And it wasn't necessarily, can you review my CV? Can you help me get into this product interview? And what questions would they ask? It was actually nothing about that. It was, I had my own, stresses and individual pain points in my current role, and I had to overcome them. And I've never had a career coach. I actually saw the career coach as like, oh, it's just going to be, a lightweight therapy session. It's a nice to have, but actually it was probably one of the most impactful parts of this program. And I actually spoke to the team, maybe it was Sam actually, and I said that should be more front and center of what you guys do at King's, because having a career coach, you don't you don't actually appreciate until you're in it. But when you're in a day-to-day role, senior leadership teams, it's really hard to switch off because there's not really anyone you can openly talk to, even HR, because they report to me. So there's not a window or someone you can speak to. So that career coaching was incredible. I also then launched my own business. I would love to go down a route of consulting small businesses, startups on building really simple user journeys and great impactful products. So I started that and had that idea when I first started my career coaching with Emma. I've now got my first 3 clients in January. And that was because she really, when we had our sessions, I think the first 1 hour that we had, I was just talking about Enterprise Nation. And I think she was a bit like, well, that's a lot. Where do we start? And then as we got to our last one, Enterprise Nation, I spoke about for 10 minutes, and the rest was like, okay, how do you lean into girls in movement, life in product, and like how do you take those forward? So for me, that was incredible because life and product was a bit of an idea in my head for ages, and my whole role is helping startups to start, but I was like, I'm really struggling to start my own. So for me, that was just, yeah, invaluable. I can't speak highly enough of Emma and the career coaches. I don't know them all, but I hear good things about all of them. And I think I was just in such a unique position of my role, and it just came at the right time.
No, thank you so much for that. And prior to joining us, have you ever worked with a career coach or anyone similar? Have you thought about it?
No, never thought about career coach. I've got like unofficial mentors, which I would also highly recommend to anyone who is changing careers. I mentor individuals, people mentor me, and it doesn't just have to be about your career. You can have life mentors who are relatives as well, and they help you unload some of your brain to make a bit more space in your brain to think about your career in a different way. I think that's really healthy. So no, never thought about it. But yeah, definitely investing in it in 2025.
Nice. And I'm sure some might have the question of, well, how do you get mentors? How do you get in touch with them? Because our mentors often seem very unreachable. They're super successful and we want to be just like them. What advice would you have as a mentor to others? How do people approach mentors? How do you get one?
Yeah, good question. My one thing I would say, whether if you're trying to start a career in product, it's all about community, and sometimes it is a little bit about who you know, but what you learn off them. And I don't mean who you know is what we used to say 10, 20 years ago, it's the only way you'll get a role. I mean it's what they open you up to, and the resources they put out there for free. A big thing for me, I joined Everything Marketplace community. That's incredible. So I'd recommend joining that. I also joined Lenny Rachitsky, who was an ex head of product at Airbnb and helped them scale massively. He's now grown his own subscriber community, and he makes significant recurring revenue, but he built out in public, which is great to see. Now, I joined those communities, and when we were in this period of growth at Enterprise Nation, I would turn to those communities and say, we're looking to add payment to our subscription to our communities. Can anyone help me? I'd have someone in Australia, someone in South Africa, reaching back out and saying, here, this is what we did, this is what we learned, this is how we failed, recommend not doing this. It was invaluable. I mean, it cost something, so it wasn't free, but it was good. It's just a monthly subscription you pay. Finding the mentors, I would just say LinkedIn. So a couple of the mentors that I've worked with, doesn't have to be a long-term mentor, could just be for like a year or 2 months. I worked with someone that was from the Everything Marketplace community. I saw that they scaled a community in the States. I just reached out to the founder and just said, look, I saw you move from head of product to founder. Would love to grab some time because, my role was moving as a COO. And I just reach out over LinkedIn. I'm very open, transparent. I try and keep it unofficial. Mentors, having the benefits of a mentor is if you vibe with them. If it's like a business meeting, you're not going to get much out of it. The more open you are and transparent you are around the problems you have, just like the career coaching, the more open you are, the more you'll get out of it. So yeah, LinkedIn, join product communities. There's lots of mentor courses. We run one of the biggest government programs, which is all around mentoring, and small businesses access mentors for free. We run a program with Google. You can access a digital mentor. So there's very much tangible product mentors who will teach you things and show you things. Then you've got on the other side of the spectrum, like life coaches and mentors who will guide you through different, milestones in your life as well.
Oh, thank you so much for that, and I'm sure a few of us would have had a book and a pen taking notes, but don't worry, you'll be able to watch the recording again, just on mentorship. And it sounds, the more natural it is, the more organic it is, the more you'll get out of it. So for anyone, that's feeling overwhelmed about it, as Polly said, it should be natural. Go out, meet people, be yourself, and you never know the type of opportunities you can get. So, Polly, there are so many questions, and I want to be able to get through them. So I'll get through just one or two more questions from my side, and then we'll jump into the Q&A. Please don't forget, everyone, not the comment section, but the Q&A function is where you'll put your questions for Polly. Please also do vote up the questions with the thumbs up icon under each question if you feel that is going to be a priority question. I'll be going through priority questions first. So, Polly, just to wrap things up, one of two questions is, what aspect of the program helped you the most in your career after your 6 months with us? And I think my final one would be, what's next for your career?
I think the bit that did help me, you probably can see from the passion of my career coach that I had, would be the career coaching, because it's so intertwined with what you're doing day to day. In terms of the course, I really like the group that I collaborated with as well. So for me, that was really impactful because I still talk to them all. And it's funny, they're all looking for roles within product. And I'm reviewing all their CVs, because a role as a COO is reviewing CVs and looking for new talent every single day. So I feel really good that I was able to help them lift their game with their CV as well. What's next for me? Hopefully continue being a COO. But for me, I want Life in Product to be a kind of startup that helps other small businesses and startups truly build great products, and diverse products that everyone can access. But yeah, for me, I have a not-for-profit as well, so that's also a big thing. My purpose on that, and my personal mission, is to reach 1 million girls globally with Girls in Movement. So not a small effort, but it's one hopefully that I feel I can achieve. So yeah, I'm already looking at another course I could hopefully do to kind of diversify my skills. So yeah, hopefully more learning and building these kind of businesses that I'm hopefully starting as well.
No, thank you, and all the best with that, Polly, as well. And thank you for the amazing work you do with your nonprofit as well. I'm sure very much appreciated. So, without further ado, lots of questions to get through, Polly, and some very exciting. So I'll start with the upvotes, and then we'll work our way down. Anyone, please just feel free to add some more questions or keep voting in the questions you want answered. So, from Anonymous, I come from a sales background. What advice would you give leveraging my existing skills, so within sales, such as customer understanding, stakeholder management, to excel in product management? Companies seem to be biased against people who apply without technical background. Any
Great
any
question.
comments?
Yeah, lots. I used to work in sales. I used to sell stationery and door knock across London, so I know the sales game very well. I actually think sales is the one role where they are closest, and customer support, to really understanding the product. And I believe, as a salesperson, some of the best sales roles I've had is understanding how the business delivers for that product that you're trying to sell, or that service. If I was working in sales and I wanted to shift a product, I would get close to the customer support team. Look, depends how big your organization is. I'd get close to the customer support team, the product team. I'd send them recommendations when you're doing demos. How could you improve that? What would you say is better in terms of feedback that you're getting from clients or users when they go through the system or the product? Again, I'm not sure what you sell, product or service. I disagree. I think I don't have any technical skills. I'm being unfair on myself. I'm not a coder. I do know how to code, but that's not my forte. I learned how to code because I wanted a high level understanding. I truly believe if you were to learn every single technical program tool out there, you still will find a gap in your skills. I believe you can go to a product role, and if they say to you, these are the tools we use, this is what you need to learn, if you have the urge in you, you will have enough time to learn it and take it forward. But for me, sales is such a great role to then move into product. That's what I was in before.
No, thank you, Polly. And I agree. I think with sales roles, you work so closely with the product, you have a good understanding. Often it's you involved in DevOps or DevOps to some degree and with the marketing. So take Polly's advice, get involved with the right stakeholders in the business, never stop learning. It's a role about the customer. As it seems, you want to put the customer first and have a good understanding. Another question we have, Polly, is they have, and this is from David. Thank you, David. There have been some negative perceptions of PMs not helped with companies like Airbnb who have gotten rid of their PM roles. And I assume this might have been during the pandemic or after, as a lot of companies did. What do you feel about the PM role moving into the future? Is it a solid career to pursue?
Yeah, great question. And I see this all the time. I follow a lot of product people on X who all push out. I can give you kind of a list of people that I follow and absolutely love. The product manager role that I realized within the first year, no role is the same. I used to think, okay, what is it to be a product manager? Whereas if I look at my COO role, most COOs have a similar sort of role and responsibility. Product managers really vary. My role as a product manager was making sure that we actually lifted our product from here to here within a year. So I had to work with all departments and bring them together. Now, if I went to Monzo Bank and joined the product role as a product manager, let's say, my role could be how to get 16 to 25-year-olds to sign up to Monzo Bank. And it's really specific and it's a problem you've got to solve. So for me, the PM role is definitely needed. I feel the roles that are really at risk are the engineering roles, the coder roles. The tools that you use are only as good as the human input. So AI will only ever be as good as the human input who is stood there kind of doing the input into that machine. So that is tends to be a PM or a senior leadership role. I think it's unfair to say the product manager role is dying. There is so much. I've worked with engineers for a long time. There is so much that a product manager brings to the table. An engineer could code the best code that solves all of the problems in your product. But if no one tells the sales team, the marketing team, and the customer support team, that product goes nowhere. So I feel that product manager, as long as you have great communication, this is why salespeople are very good transition roles. If you have great communication, confidence, you're super organized, you know how to deal with problems, those roles, whether it's called a product manager or an astronaut in the future, they will still be needed in businesses. I feel they're core to taking your product from here to here in the future.
Thank you for that, and it makes a lot of sense. You're describing a bridge between, problems and solutions. And without the product manager there to communicate, then there's going to be some lost communication. And I'm happy to hear that, Polly. From my perspective, hearing from you, it gives me a lot of confidence to continue spreading this message that product management is not a dying career at all. We had a COO, her name was Polly, and she confirmed that. So I'll be spreading that message, definitely. So thank you for that question, David. Adil, thank you for your question. And he does apologize, it's a bit of a long one. For someone who has worked in a completely different field within the corporate job, government affairs, will this course provide me with the necessary knowledge and skills to be able to deliver in a new product management role from day one? Will I be able to compete in this role compared to my peers who've had 10 years in the field? Do I need an additional certification? So simply, is this course good enough, Polly?
Yeah, I suppose government affairs is really specific. I know the policy world really well. We work with government, so I completely understand you would question why is it relevant. However, look at the news that came out yesterday, which was all around AI and the importance within the UK government. I'm not sure which government affairs you deal with, but this won't just be UK government; it will be all over the world. Tony Blair did a podcast with Jimmy's Jobs. Have a listen, but it's a great podcast where he says, what's the top three priorities for government? Is AI in there? He said, scrap the top three. AI is the only priority because it will help across health, building roads, small business support, etc. So for me, looking at the kind of sector that you're in, government affairs, yes, I do believe that this is definitely relevant. And from what you learn in day one, it's definitely the start. You be the judge of whether you need a little bit more. And there is so many free courses to top up what you're already doing at King's. I did separate courses around SEO product marketing, for example, which it just touched on it here. So I did that with Udemy and it was free. And I got a Google certification at the end. So for me, you can do top up courses elsewhere, which won't cost the same. But this is great for just foundations, fundamentals that you need, and then you top up where you need to take it next. I'd then also look at people within product roles within government organizations. There's not a lot, so that's good because there's a gap in the market there. Whether you're still looking to stay within government affairs is interesting, but yeah, I feel you're definitely in a space where they're probably going to be tapping on the doors of people who have got policy knowledge and have digital skills as well. So I would just top it up with maybe more AI. I mean, I haven't seen the AI module or anything like that because we didn't do that, but that might be an element you want to top up on.
Thank you for that, Polly. And for anyone interested in hearing from a career changer, we had another AMA session last year with another graduate. His name was Rory. He came from an HR and recruitment background, so very different from product. Never worked with product, but he managed to move into an associate product management role, and he had two senior product managers above him. And something he said to me last November that really stuck with me is that in his role, he also had two senior product managers who had many years of experience above what he had. He had just graduated 3 months ago and he's now in this role. And he said that he often finds his seniors coming to him for small things, and it's these small things that we cover on the program that really fill in all the gaps. And as Polly said, every role is different. You might be in a product management role for 5 years, but you haven't covered the full life cycle. You've only been focused on one area. So our program will ensure that you walk away with a full skill set. And then, as Polly said, you can just add on certifications or even consider our postgrad certificate if you do want to specialize further. So thank you for that question, Adil. Then Adil again had, what does a day in the life of a PM look like? How is the time dividend between actual designing and ideation versus coordination, communication, and other admin stuff? So I think Adil is really considering being a PM, Polly. So any advice for that question?
Yeah, no day is the same. And I laugh because if you like the same, a product manager is not for you. I say that in the bluntest way, but I say that because if you feel uncomfortable solving problems and not everything's always going to plan, that's kind of a day-to-day of a product manager. You have to solve the problems. So let's say sales team come up with an idea. So this could be my product side. Let me give you an example. Sales team have had a demo with a potential partner and they have a new feature. I have to get the time scope from team engineering. And this could all happen, let's say, within a few days, but it gives you a flavor of how your role kind of works. I have to speak to the CTO to find out how long it will take and how much it will cost. I then need to go back to our CEO or head of finance to find out how much I have in the budget to get that signed off. I get it signed off, tick. I then have to go back to our CTO and our head of platform or head of product, or I'm not head of product, let's say, and I then have to get that on the roadmap. I then have to share that back with sales team to say, okay, this is what we're thinking, this is the feature release. Have you got an idea of who you could sell it to? So then I'm starting to spin plates. I've got engineering team who are going to start building, and I want good oversight of that. I'm going to join the scrums every single day. So 9 till 10, I know what the engineering team are working on. 10 to 11, I've got a call with the sales team because they're going to position it to two big corporates. I'm going to help them with that sales pack. 11 till 12, I'm going to speak to the marketing team because all of a sudden there's a whole avenue of revenue that could come in. Okay, how do we product market this now? 12 till 1, I need to go back to the day to day because there's 20 other features that are still in the roadmap before this feature that the sales team have just dropped in. 1 till 2. I need to talk to the CEO because they've got 3 great ideas that they would like to share with the product manager. 4 till 5, I then need to speak to community team. There's 8 errors which have come through, and we need to put it as BAU, business as usual. How are we going to prioritize it? That is a very real day of a day in the life of a product manager. Now, you either work in a startup, small business, or a big corporate. If you work in a big corporate, you'll have more people to help you with that day to day. If you work in a small business, those hands get less and less, and you have to pick up some of the doing. A startup, you'll have to pick up a lot of the doing. So I say this in the nicest way: get comfortable with being uncomfortable in a product manager role. But a day to day is very exciting. I experienced the head of product role. I then invested in my learning towards a product role. And then now I lean into the product side at Enterprise Nation. So yeah, it hasn't put me off. I love it. I love the pace at which we work, get comfortable with that. One tip I would say: if you join a product team and they move slow, get out of that product team. Product teams in 2025 should be agile, they should be moving quick, but making quick decisions as well. If something's not working and you've spent 3 months on it, it's time to move on. And yeah, take your own gut instinct. Slow product teams are not great. So yeah, hope that gives you an idea of a day.
Thank you so much for that, Polly. Miriam has a question, and Miriam is an IT business analyst and at a bank, and they work with online banking applications. I have some experience in IT project management as well, and want to shift my career into project or product management. But I feel a lack of leadership skills to be some lack of leadership skills and lack of being a capable manager. Could you highlight essential soft or hard skills for this type of role? So I think they want to hear from you with leadership skills.
Yeah, great question. I think open communication is key. Too many individuals who come in new roles are scared of speaking their mind. Don't be. I love when new people come into the team and they're like, Polly, this part of the platform is really shit. Sort it out. This is what my solution is. I love those people because they are in a place on the platform that I don't have time to go into. So they tell me what I need to be hearing. Storytelling is a big thing. How do you tell your sales team, we're about to go on a big journey with this product, but we believe it will revolutionize the way you sell users to your customer support team? How do you tell them if the end users access this every single day, it will change the way the users access open banking or banking day to day? Storytelling is huge and selling is huge. This is again why I say sales is key. You have to be comfortable with selling every single day. You're selling to the CTO to get them to build it. You're selling to the CEO to get them to invest in it. You're selling to the sales team to get them to sell it. And then you're selling to marketing team to get them on board. Sales is super key. And I don't mean like sales, picking up the phone, nothing like that. The soft skills a salesperson brings to the table is what a product, part of what a product manager needs. And all I would say is you already have great foundation skills if you're doing data. Our data analyst is my best friend in this company. She makes my life easier. A great product manager who is obsessed with data, get comfortable with that. Going in the data every single day should be your 9 till 9:15 with a coffee. That should be your day. And reporting that, bringing that into meetings is key as well. So yeah, good communication, a blend of sort of sales skills, so you're selling to everyone, good storytelling. How are you going to convince me and take me on a journey? It's not enough people story tell still, which I think is something that's missing. I'd say they're kind of the soft skills.
Thank you for that. Another career question, Polly, a different one this time. I work as a marketing manager. Is it possible to utilize my skills in this area in the product sphere? I've seen that there are product marketing manager roles out there. Will this course be beneficial for that? Any comments around that, Polly?
Yeah, interesting. Product marketing is very exciting. We're about to launch a new feature, and I'm going to do the product marketing side of it with our CMO, and that really excites me. So you're walking into a great space. I think this course could go more into the product marketing. So yeah, maybe just I don't know. I haven't seen the refresh course list, so I would just maybe ask the questions of how long are the modules on this. If it's purely product marketing and you know all the foundations of product, then I would do a pure product marketing course. But if you want foundations of product plus the marketing, then this is sufficient.
All right, thank you so much. And that was from Anonymous. Unfortunately, I can't shout out to the question, but thank you for that. I'm conscious of time, Polly. I do know you do have to go quite soon. So just a few more from my side. I think two questions. One to know, are you planning on doing the post-grad certificate? Any plans for this anytime soon?
No, unfortunately, I think I need to lean into a different skill set. So I'm looking at sustainable investment. So it's completely different, but I have no idea what that's about. So I'm looking to do how, as an organization, we invest in more sustainable startups. So I need that knowledge. So probably not a post grad. I have limited learning time in my week.
No, understandable. And then a few questions around support. So, as we mentioned earlier, you have a career coach, a student success manager who's also there in the background, and your course facilitators who are the industry mentors, grading your assignments, providing support. Is that correct, Polly? So, those are the three individuals you worked with?
Yeah, that's it. And then obviously the team who are doing the course as well, they're just as important because, yeah, when you've got questions about an assignment, we had a big WhatsApp group and just asked each other. So, yeah, I'd say there's four in that.
All right. And then I think two more questions, Polly, then we're able to wrap up. So again, from Adil, who's quite keen. Thanks for all the questions today, Adil. You said you started your own company. For someone who also wants to start their own company, how effective is this course in building, launching, and growing your own product, initiative, or company?
I wouldn't say so because I wanted to start my own business in product. It was super relevant. But if you need help in launching and growing, I suppose if it is you're launching your own product, then yeah, of course. If you're launching your own company, there's slightly different skills that you need in the sense of this course isn't going to say company registration or making your first hire, but it will help you with like launching a good product from day one and the process you need to take. So there's lots out there. Enterprise Nation, all free to help you start a business as well.
All right, thank you so much. And then I think, just from my side, I'll be answering all other questions that are not particularly relevant to our conversation, but more to the course, which I can answer afterwards. Any advice you have for anyone considering on the edge, on the fence of this decision? Any advice for them? Because it is a big life decision. It's not an easy one. So, any few words for our audience and those that might watch at a later point?
Yeah, just do it. I am so glad I did it. My I wasn't sure what to expect going into this course. I didn't have a guarantee of I'm going to change jobs at the end. So maybe my mindset was a bit different. I loved every week of me learning. I felt like I had this regained purpose, which sometimes when you work day to day in a 9 to 5, it's really hard to find. Just do it. If you're on the fence, but you're more towards the yes, just sign up. Um, I'm a strong believer in money comes and goes, but what you actually experience is what stays in your mind. The and I'm not an emotional person, but I have to say, the feeling of that I completed this course at the age of 32, I feel like I'm too old for like learning stuff, but you're never too old. I learn every single day. Someone spoke about books. You don't need to buy books for the course, but you should be reading lots of product books. You learn a lot from these. I'm happy to again share stuff, but yeah, just do it. Just sign up.
I love it, and I'm sure our marketing team is going to love that as well, Polly. Thank you so much. And please, everyone, throw some emojis on screen for Polly, who's taken time out of her COO role to join us today. Much appreciated. And from behalf of myself, the fourth Rev team, it was great to reconnect with you after almost 2 years, Polly. All the
Yeah.
best going forward, and hopefully we'll keep in contact again.
Thanks, Jamie, and good luck, everyone. See you all soon. Bye.
All right. So I hope that was exciting, informative for everyone. I'll be going through a few details now about applications, costing, and everything else you might need to know. And then for those that do have a few minutes to stick around after we wrap up at 1 p.m., I will be finishing the questions that I didn't get through, but I feel a lot of them I will answer now. So from this point, Next steps is we begin our next intake on the 27th of January. So we are about 13 days away, just about 2 weeks. So really exciting. Our final date for applications is going to be the 20th of January. So just 6 days. So please, if you haven't already done an application, please consider doing one because we're about 6 days away, under 1 week, where we want to start wrapping up applications to help you with the onboarding process. Our last event for this intake before the 20th is going to be on Friday. And this is going to be an info session with three key individuals. It's going to be a graduate, so similar to our guest today. It's going to be with one of our career coaches and our course facilitator. So if you want to hear from our career coaches and our facilitators, then please join us. Invitations have gone out from Kings. So if you haven't received it, please do check your inboxes, register. If you can't attend at the time, register and get the recording. But this is going to be the final event and your final chance to ask the questions that you've really wanted to. You can also book a time with your enrollment advisor. So if it's not me, then it will be one of my great colleagues, either Matt or Ronald. So please check your emails for an email from your enrollment advisor and book a call with them. If there's more questions you have, whether this is the right program for you, whether you fit the criteria, um, your enrollment advisor will be able to tell you all of that. In terms of criteria, it's a undergraduate degree, 2 years working experience. And so these are the prerequisites. We'll also require a personal statement and an identification document. So only four documents, should take about 20 minutes, not too much time out of your day. But if you do have that 20 minutes over the next 6 days, please do register. Now, a big incentive for registering for January is that because it's our first intake for the year, we have an incentive running on our career coaches. So our standard offering is 6 sessions over a 9 month period, 6 months on the program, 3 months after. But for signing up in January, you will get extended career coaching for 12 months. So 6 months on the program and 6 months after. And you get a maximum of 24 sessions to book in that time, unless you reach a career outcome before those 24 sessions, and then we will wrap it up at that point. But if you do want to find out more about the outcomes based coaching and how it could help you land your next role and be successful, then please do speak about that with your enrollment advisor or do your registration, and we will be in contact with you to speak about all of the T's and C's around the outcomes based coaching. Now, from cost perspective, the full cost of the program is £6,000. And this you'll see on our website, on our brochure. And we also have various payment plans your enrollment advisor can speak you through as well. But for anyone looking to pay the course fees upfront, or if you are being sponsored by your employer, then you do receive a £450 reduction on the fee. Fantastic fee reduction and making that investment a bit less. If you need to pay the £6,000 over time and you want to split that cost with no interest involved, consider our 6 month interest free payment plan. And this requires a minimum of 10% deposit, and the balance can be split over 6 payments. So it's a fantastic way to ensure you can invest in your education without having that full amount upfront. And then if you need more flexible options, not to worry, please speak to your enrollment advisors to see if there is any other options that could fit your budget any better. Please let us know what that budget is, and we'll work with you to identify if there's any plans that we can offer to help. But let us know because otherwise we will not know how to assist. Now, I'll spend 5 minutes for those that can stay, but again, for those that can't, that do need to jump off now, your time is always so much appreciated. Please look out for the recording. We'll send it to you after this has ended, and you will be able to visit our YouTube channel where all of our other AMA sessions are hosted, and you'll find much more content there from career coaches, industry panelists, recruiters, our course facilitators, and even our very own product manager, has a few videos on our channel. So please make sure to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't want to miss out on future AMAs and exciting sessions. And also follow us on LinkedIn, where we do post success stories as well. Now, just looking at some of the questions from Josh, are there lecturers or dedicated learning time? So we don't have lecturers from King's, Josh. We use industry mentors. So our course facilitators, who you'll if you join us on Friday, will be joining us for another session like this. They will be product managers from industry at various levels of seniority. But we'll try and bring in the best of the best to make sure that they will be able to provide you a realistic context into what the industry is like, and also be able to share the content in a very practical way. So to ensure that it's not only theoretical, but they're giving you a real picture of what it's like in industry. So I hope that answers the question, Josh. Charlene, what type of support can learners expect from the course? So three, I would say four, but three main ones are the career coach, Charlene. They will work with you, as I mentioned, over the 6 months and beyond. Depending if you join us in January or another date, your sessions with them will vary. But career coach, your course facilitator, I just mentioned, who is from industry, they'll support you with live sessions every week, one-on-one support, and grading and feedback on your project work. Then it's your success manager. Your success manager is the background hero you never knew you needed. They will be watching and ensuring that you are up to date on your assignment submissions, that you're not falling behind. If you take any study breaks on the program, you inform them and they work out a plan for you to stay on track. And any other course queries or concerns, your success manager is there for that. So I hope that answers the question. Then for Polly, sorry, anonymous there. Polly's left already. What course was the course helpful in giving you knowledge you needed for the product career? So as Polly said, yes, it helped fill the gaps in even though she was head of product, it filled the gaps in areas she never worked in before. And our program ensures that we future-proof your career. So you're not only a product manager for 2024, 2025, but you're going to be a sustainable product manager even into the year 2030. So that's our aim, is to provide you with AI skill tools and as much future proofing as possible. Um, Another anonymous question: what is needed to apply for the program and how long is it? So what's needed is, I'm sorry, I've not answered this already. It's undergrad, your CV, a personal statement, and an identification document. The program is 6 months, and the application, if that was your question, takes about 20 minutes. Fahima, due to other priorities, I'm entering the April intake rather than the January. Understandable. We have 4 intakes every year, and we say, join the best one for you. We have once a quarter. So January, April, July, and October. For April, Fahima, that's going to be mid-April. Please just confirm that with your enrollment advisor. Either email them or book a time just to speak about the date specific. If there's any considerations or questions that you have that are date specific, please speak to us. We'll pull up a very accurate calendar and tell you exactly what you need to know around dates. But for April, it's fine. What you can do is you can apply in the meantime, Fahima, and secure your spot. It's most important. Our middle of the year intakes, April, are very popular. So it's always good to apply quite early for that. So I suggest doing your application as early as possible, and your enrollment advisor will keep you informed once the next cycle opens so you don't miss out. So please do that. From Anonymous, do you have to buy books? So as Polly mentioned, no, but please do consider in further investing in books, in learning material. Your learning journey will never stop. So the further you want to go, not only in your career, but in life, you'll need to continue learning as much as possible. So your £6,000 covers all material, nothing addition you'll need to purchase. Uh, okay, and then would you say, from Anonymous, the course improves employability? Absolutely. We've had close to 100 success stories already. Polly is one of them, but there's so much more and so much career changes coming from industries outside of product. We have about 70% of our success stories are career changes. So we have phenomenal success. We teach one of the best curriculums globally for product management, and being certified by Kings is also a fantastic way to get recognized in industry as well. So many factors will help your employability. What qualifies for the postgrad stream? What or who? So in order to qualify for the postgraduate certificate, you will need to complete the Career Accelerator and achieve 60% minimum. And this 60% is going to be averaged across the 4 practical projects you do. So you'll have a practical project for course 1, for course 2, and for course 3. And your final project is the live business project that you'll be doing with an actual organization. So these 4 projects will be graded by the course facilitators. You'll need to average 60% across the 4, which I've seen so many students do. So it's not impossible. Just put the work in. And then if you achieve 60% at the end, for 2 years, you'll be able to consider doing our postgrad certificate. So 60% is the prerequisite, Glenza. So thank you for that question. Would you, again, another question around books for the course? No, no books are needed. Would I recommend using an iPad as most universities do? Yes, our learning platform Canvas is friendly on an iPad, a cell phone, a laptop, a mobile desktop. So, regardless if you're on the move, if you travel quite a bit, if you want to listen and do some reading on the bus, on the train, on your commute to work, however you'd like to spend that time going through the platform, it's user friendly on most devices. If you are having any challenges across your devices, our success team is there. They'll troubleshoot with you, and they'll ensure that regardless of the device you're using, we can give you a great experience. However, I'm going to put it out there that it's always going to be best on a laptop and a computer, just from purely a UX and visual perspective, but not impossible to learn from your cell phone or your iPad. We had students that have done that before. Good question. Thank you for that. Then could we hear from alumni who are from a more unusual backgrounds, education, healthcare? Again, our YouTube channel is filled with AMA sessions just like this from learners that are from various backgrounds. So Polly is quite a unique learner. She holds a very senior position. She's a career advancer. But if you're a career changer and you want to hear from someone from a background that's not similar to Polly's, maybe a career changer, I will suggest either speaking to your enrollment advisor and we can select the best AMA for you to watch, or go to our YouTube channel and watch them all, get a perspective of different students from different industries, and come to us with questions afterwards. We'd love to hear your feedback on those AMA sessions. So yes, lots of examples of other careers on our YouTube channel. Today, we're really focusing on how anyone can move into the senior roles and what is it the perspective like from a COO. Another anonymous, when I said unusual, I mean outside the typical tech. Okay, yes. So again, our YouTube channel will be filled. So this would cover most of the questions. Thank you all for sticking around. Please again, book a time with your enrollment advisor. Please register for our Friday session that's happening. It's very exciting, and please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you again. Thank you so much for your time. Go well.